Oh, and welcome back to the Main Stage podcast. This is kind of an urgent one. We've rushed to put this one together for you, and it'll be out as soon as possible. We officially have the first 10 names for Reading and Leeds 2024. We don't have a lineup yet. They have literally just given us 6 headliners and a few extra names here and there. We don't even have a poster. We've just found out who's going to be playing on what days. But yeah, me and Adam from the TheFestivalMill and the Randall Mill have decided we wanted to get into it because there's quite a bit to discuss.
Yeah, there is. It's really exciting. Thanks for having me on. It all kind of came out of nowhere. I think sometimes you get normally like a little bit of warning with the lineup, but this year it was kind of like we had the little leaks from Fred again, which I imagine he was probably told to say, but then a day later he said, "Yep, it's dropping on Radio 1," and not even dropping Greg James Radio 1. It was 6 p.m. on a Thursday evening.
Yeah, it was. Do you know what? I actually don't think. Like, I keep hearing people saying they think it was planned. I don't know if it was planned. I think what had happened was Fred again posted the night before, and then obviously because it wasn't like full on confirmation, it was just like a hint, and it was like if you know, you know sort of thing. I think what's happened is the festival saw that the next morning. And they've gone, right, we don't want this to get too viral. So they've just rushed out a lineup, and that's why we've only got 10 names.
Yeah, perhaps. And no
because the names they announced... Yeah, and the names they announced on the radio were really strange ones to announce on the radio. So the ones they didn't announce on the radio were really odd ones to leave out. You'd think that some of the ones they left out would be important.
Yeah, it was really confusing. And as well, not only that, they then, obviously, when they announced Ray before Lana, so it made it sound like Ray was like a third headliner.
Yeah, it was a weird announcement. They presented it straight. To be fair, they have done that in the past. I remember last year they threw in they threw in someone before they threw in a headliner, and everyone was a bit like, wait, what? But yeah, so that's just the announcement. So the headliners we've got, we'll break it down. We now know that one of the days will be Liam Gallagher and Catfish and the Bottlemen. Mm-hmm. Very happy about that. I'm sure a lot of you have seen my reaction on my TikTok that did a few numbers recently. It did bring me to tears when I seen it.
Yeah,
I'm happy to admit that.
That's gonna be
one of the days we're going to have Lana Del Rey and Fred again.
Having them on the same day, it's
the first time we've had Fred, so I'm not sure why it's Fred again. That was the worst joke ever. And then we've got Blink-182 and Jerry Cinnamon on one of the days, which is an interesting stage split. I think it's weird to have Liam and Catfish on the same day. Because if you've got, I always thought, so obviously you had Liam, Catfish and Jerry Cinnamon. I thought the done thing would be to split those 3 up, because then you've got, a decent indie act on each day, and then someone else. But it looks like they've just gone all in with Liam Catfish on the Friday at Leeds, at least.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, because I thought as well, when I saw Jerry was announced, and especially announced the headliner, I thought, right, okay, they're going to do the same thing again, have Liam on, and then as the main, and then have Jerry maybe behind him. You are right, it would make sense to split them all up, but I thought that was why they were going to both be announced, and they were just going to both be on the same day, and Jerry was like, yeah, I'm going to be with my mate Liam.
Yeah, because I thought it made sense, because obviously they did, on the radio, they did big announcements where they played tunes from everyone, but then they didn't do it for Liam, they just kind of threw him in at the end, they just kind of went, plus Liam Gallagher's going to be there.
Yeah.
So the nature of that, and then seeing Catfish and Jerry as the last two, gave me the feeling that they were going to be the main stage West headliners. So you get Blink, Lana and Fred would be your big ones, and then each day they'd have a Liam, Catfish and Jerry just to bring a bit of an indie crowd each day. But it seems like it's Lana and Fred who are on the same day. I thought both of them would be big headliners, to be fair, but it kind of leaves me with a question of Lana and Fred, who's going? As they said, who's main stage West and East? Because that could go either way, in my head.
I think from the way they wrote it, I think Fred's going to be the main headliner.
I'm getting that vibe too, because originally my question was, right, it's going to be between Lana and Liam, because both of them could really play either stage. And then now that we know Liam's headlining East, definitely, it's kind of a weird one with Lana and Fred.
Yeah, yeah. I think your main ones, as say, are Fred, Liam, and Blink, and then you've got Lana in behind Fred. You've got Jerry in behind Blink, and then Catfish in behind Liam. But it's interesting because the Catfish in the bottom and their return. If their return are these shows, if they don't do a show until then you'd think the hype around them is going to be just as big as the hype around Liam, if not bigger.
I think, like, judging by Twitter on the night of the announcement, I think if any artist is, like, if you're going to tack on a percent to each artist of how many tickets they're selling, surely Catfish are doing the highest percent of tickets. Like, the Catfish Day sells out at both festivals, surely.
Yeah. Yeah, and
the thing is,
to be fair, I think the Fred and Lana Day does too, because you'll get the moaners, but you'll also get people who love Fred again, and you'll get those who are like, oh my god, Lana Del Rey's in the UK.
That's the thing. The Fred again Lana Day is very like local day. I feel like it's just kind of that's the day where you're gonna get people who are just there to be that. Like that'll be your day for like GCSE results type thing, where it'll just be like, if you're a fan of anything generally, you should be okay with that lineup.
I'm all for it.
But
I think it's a bit different. I like it. I like it a lot.
Yeah,
and
no, I think do you know what? To me, it feels very European. Does the six headliners? It feels like something you get at like a. And I'm not just saying this because Lana is headlining Primavera.
Yeah.
But it feels like something you would get at like a Primavera, like Lana, Fred, Liam, and Blink 182 and Jerry Cinnamon and Catfish. It does feel like something you'd see in like Hungary.
And I think, like I was saying, I think that's why it's done so well. I think you look at the lineup for the first time, at least since I've been doing the videos, I've been really interested in going, probably since like 2018. I think that this is the first year then you look at every headliner and you're like, wow, they're massive, wow, they're great, wow, you know? And I think, you know, maybe there was always going to be one that perhaps wasn't going to be everyone's crowd, and that probably is Jerry Cinnamon.
Yeah.
But
I think it's definitely between Lana and Jerry Cinnamon. I think what it is it's where... So Lana will attract people, but the people that Lana doesn't attract, Jerry will bring that.
Yeah, yeah. And I was going to say, they both got cult followings as well. They both got those people who do love them.
Yeah, I think you'll get opposite ends. So I think what you've got Liam, Catfish, Blink, and Fred again are basically for everyone. And then Lana will appeal to one side of the spectrum and Jerry will get the other side. So you kind of got 5 headliners at least for everyone.
Yeah.
I think this is the first year. This is the first year that I've done it where I'm really keen to see all 6.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And as I say, I'm not keen to see all 6 just because they're there. Keen to see all 6 because you actually want to see all 6.
Yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Let's split them down one by one. What are your thoughts on Jerry specifically? As a headliner.
When he was announced for Transmit, I thought that's an amazing set of headliners, and I thought that's going to be unbelievable because I know the affiliation, obviously, to Scotland. When Jerry Cinnamon was announced as a sub-headliner in 2020 and then 2021, I thought, blimey, why is he that high up then? Now I think I can understand why he got the bump, and I can understand why they've put him as a headliner, but I can also understand why people are a bit miffed about it. But personally, I love him. I think he's very, very good. I think he can put on a hell of a show. He's a hell of a live performer, and I think he's going to do that exact same thing that everyone does every year and do the headline slot, and people are going to be like, yeah, fair play. That's why he's headlining. Yeah.
So for me, I've never really rated Jerry, bar 1 or 2 tunes. Like, my mum's very Scottish, and she's got a few of his tunes in her car, so it's just kind of like, that's just the way it kind of goes. But, like... I know why they've put him in that slot. I know exactly why they've done it, and it's a really smart move from him. But do I think it's kind of wasting a slot? I suppose if you have literally nothing else in the bank and you want to get someone that you know is going to be cheap and bringing tickets, Jerry's a great shout. do I think that he is, like, Reading and Leeds, the second, like, arguably one of the biggest festivals on the planet. Like, some years we'd put it above Glastonbury. I'm not sure how I feel about him as a headline. I'd love to see him sub-headline again. And I think he's a headliner at most other places. Transmit, Truck, Kendall. I think he could headline the shit out of any of them. I just don't know about on this scale, especially if you're trying to convince me that he's on the same level as Lana and Catfish.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point.
But do you know what? I've had a dislike for Jerry, but I think I'm definitely gonna see him just for the tunes I rate, because I've been saying like I want Cortinas to play, and that's a similar thing where I don't really rate him apart from a few tunes. So I think Jerry's going to be a very similar thing where I'll definitely go along and watch, and just like have a few drinks. But on to we'll go with Lana next. What do you reckon?
Lana. So Lana's one of them ones where when she got announced, I was like, "That's actually massive." Like I thought that's so different, and that's so
it's very weird.
It's
going to be
one
very
of those names
strange.
That gets banded about, and you think is never going to headline. But she is, and I think it's a clever booking. I think I can understand why people aren't that bothered. But when you actually go through her catalogue, I was listening to her songs, and I was like, I know so many.
Yeah.
I think it's clever. I think it's good, and I don't think she does not deserve to headline.
Do you know what it is? I think when they announced that, it gave me like flashbacks to when they announced Halsey in, what was it, 2021? Did they announce Halsey? 2022?
2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember, because I remember Halsey getting announced, and just like everyone had predictions, didn't they? And then they just dropped Halsey, and not one person ever thought like Halsey, but it made so much sense. I feel like Lana's a similar thing. It's like, it's like obviously Lana could do it, but it would, you just never think to even go for it. So when they announced it, I was really shocked. I was really surprised, because there was that question of like who will be your female headliner. So it was like, I think the ones that we discussing about, like SZA, Olivia Rodrigo were the main two.
Dua Lipa.
Paramore came back into the conversation towards, like in
did.
the later rounds of the conversation. So I was excited for something, and then Lana dropped. And do you know what? I'm not that big of a fan of Lana, but I think just the shock of hearing that name just kind of got me a bit excited, and like, that's so different.
Yeah.
I feel like, do you know what it is?
Very European.
Yeah, do you know what it is? I think a lot of people are going to be fuming about it, and I feel like Lana will be the one that there's like quite a lot of debate about. Same with Jerry, and they're the two that I'm not too fussed about. I feel like if I were to not see any of these, it'd probably be Lana, because I'm already meant to be seeing her in Portugal this summer. So I feel like if I miss out any, it would be Lana. But do you know what? For the people that will be happy about Lana playing, I'm really happy for them, because that's a really good booking, and it's really unique.
Yeah, it is. It's really good.
And then Catfish next. This one is obviously the one that everyone's dying to talk about.
Yeah, it was amazing, really, and to see a festival that I've loved for so long now be like their massive announcement. And like Reading, you can't get a more Catfish festival than Reading and Leeds, really. Like I just think it was it was such a clever, it was just such a clever move. And I think to literally announce a band's return, and not even like a return, it's not like we knew they were, like, we heard nothing for 2 years. Like, there's people rumouring that. Yeah, they literally just were off the grid.
Because I was trying to explain to one at Lads. That they just never. We hadn't heard any. Like, we didn't know he was alive. Like, he could have been dead for all we knew. Like, we heard literally nothing. No sightings in public or anything. And do you know what it is? Catfish were my favourite band of all time for a solid 5-6 year period. They were the band that got me learning to play guitar. Like, I just wanted to be Van McCann. And do you know what it was? When they played in 2021, I feel like I was one of the only people that thought it, but I didn't think they were going to split. I thought there was nothing wrong with that 2021 show. I had a great time, and I didn't know what anyone was talking about. When people were saying they were going to split, when they were saying they were going to split, I had no clue what people were talking about. I was thinking, it's all just gas, they'll be back. and then to just hear nothing, and to see what's happened with like Bondi and Bob going off and doing new bands, which both are actually really good. I'll talk a bit more about Bondi's new band in my end of the year lists. But like, I just didn't think we'd ever see him again. I didn't think we'd ever hear anything. And I remember seeing loads of tweets where it's like the screenshot of Catfish in the Bottlemen's profile with a story circle around it on Instagram, and just be like, I never thought I'd see the day.
No.
But literally, I seen that because I was waiting for a poster, and I was refreshing waiting for a poster, and then I just seen Van McCann looking back at me, and I just honestly, I'm not even joking yet. So obviously my reactions in that video, but like I was in tears, like it was the best feeling in the world.
I had Reading Festival. I was going to say, I had readingfestival.com/lineup up, and obviously that doesn't update. And I saw all artists there, so let me hit that. And then I just see, like, obviously you see, like, Fred again, Lana at the top, and I was like, right, they've just been announced. And I just scrolled down, saw Catfish, saw Jerry, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. I think Jerry was another one that I weren't expecting. I feel like having Jerry announced after Catfish, so I refreshed that, seeing Catfish, and then the next one was Jerry. It made the Jerry, like, in that video, when I seen Jerry, like, there's a bit in the video where I scream and I'm like, oh, Jerry Cinnamon. I don't even like Jerry Cinnamon, but it's the fact, like, Catfish in the bottom and Jerry Cinnamon
just hype,
in the same place.
Yeah.
It's just mad to me. It's just like, it's the most dark fruit. It's a very dark fruits Leeds Fest, actually. Like, on paper, like, 3 headliners, so Liam, Catfish.
Yeah.
But not even that, like, 3 headliners, like, Catfish, Liam, and Jerry Cinnamon.
Yeah. No, it's crazy. It's crazy. It'll be so
that's
good.
Impressive how dark. Because do you know what? I heard from someone that apparently they've got a new, like, head of bookings, right? And I got told that this guy's, like, apparently, this could be totally bullshit, but he's, apparently he's a bit of a rock guy. Apparently he's one of these kind of guys that's like, new music shit, like, just like rock music, that type of thing, fucking rock music. Apparently he's one of them. And if that's the case, this lineup makes so much sense. If that is true, I can 100%, I 100% get it. Who's next? We've done Catfish, Blink. We've done Catfish, Jerry.
Maybe do
Lana. Right, okay, so next one is, Liam. What do you reckon?
I wasn't that excited. I like him, and I think he's a fantastic headliner. He always puts on a good show, and just that entrance that he had in 2021 was just so rock and roll and so cool. And I did love that set. And I just think that when you then have a headliner who was there and probably not the best headliner of the weekend 3 years ago, like him being back again, it's just kind of like, decent, like that. Like that was my exact reaction.
Do you know what it was? Like, I really like him. I really, really like him live. I think he's really good to see. I've seen him a few times, and he's always been great, to be fair. But, like, I wouldn't say I'm excited.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's another one where I feel like they might have wasted a slot. But, do you know what?
Yeah.
I'll take Liam Gallagher. Do you know what I mean? I'd take it over 90% of the artists that they could have had. It's absolutely, like, I don't think it's a great booking per se, but I think, do you know what? It'll be a good night. Like Catfish and then Liam Gallagher.
Yeah, it will.
Fair play.
No, you're right.
I think I really liked Liam last time he headlined. I thought he was really good. And do you know what? Like I said, I'll take him. It's not. I wouldn't say I'm excited though. I'd say like because I remember when they announced that on the radio, I was just kind of like, oh, Liam, because I just didn't expect it. But there was no real excitement. It's just kind of like, because you know what you're getting with Liam. You don't need to be excited really. It's just like you know what you're getting. Be a good time, sweet. There's no expectation really.
Exactly. It's kind of one of them names where it comes out and you're like, you think, oh great, and then you think, oh well, that's one of our headliners. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
he's great and it's really
you know
cool.
What? I think
that's a slot gone.
Do you know what? I kind of had that in reverse order, where at first I was a bit like, Liam Gallagher's doing it again. But then I thought more about it, and I thought, do you know what? Of them artists, apart from Catfish, I probably know them most by Liam. So, like, for me, the big two...
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily the big two, but the two artists that are, like, unmissable for me are Liam and Catfish. I think Fred and Blink will both be great, and I'll give Lana and Jerry a try. But Liam, for me, is just, like, a solid, like, I know I'll know majority of words. Go down, have a good time. Yeah. It's very laid back. Like, I seen the name Liam, and I just thought, you know what, cool. I'll take it. But I don't think it warrants much more.
Yeah, and of course another thing that makes us...
But
no,
I was just about to say
the album.
So he's doing Definitely Maybe in full. He'll obviously be doing a bit more than that because it's a 40-minute album.
Yeah.
So that's just... It's kind of a way of... Do you know what? It'll be a bit different to last time. It'll be a different set to what I've seen from Liam Gallagher before. Maybe I won't know as much of it as I would have if it was just a standard set by him. But do you know what? Fair enough. It'll be... Do you know what? That'll make a lot of people really happy that he's doing Definitely Maybe in full. All the people that didn't get tickets to go and see him on that tour, I think that they'll be really happy.
Yeah, I agree. No, as I say, solid booking. Really good.
Next one's Fred again. What do we think?
Very cool booking. These next two are probably the two that are most predictable.
Now, for me, I don't know.
Go on.
I don't know. Yeah, so, like, I don't know anything about Fred again. I couldn't tell you a thing. Like, I've heard maybe one of his songs briefly, but I could not tell you a thing about him. Like, I don't know anything. I just know that he's meant to be really good. And I tell you what, just knowing that much, I'm so excited to see him. Because it reminds me of, like, whenever they do something really different on that main stage, it's just like, I've noticed that whenever I'm at the main stage and it's something really different, so like Bicep and Disclosure, for example, just so different to anything I've ever seen on that main stage. And I feel like Fred again will be a similar vibe, where it's just going to feel like its own thing. Like, I feel like a lot of the best headline sets, like, are when a band don't feel like they're headlining something, but they feel like they're just doing a good show. Like the 1975 in 2019 didn't feel like a Leeds Fest headline. It felt like a massive 1975 show. And I feel like Fred's kind of going to have a similar thing where it just feels like a big Fred again show.
Yeah, I agree. I think him, like, when have we last had a DJ on last? If he is on last, I'm assuming he is. When have we last had a DJ on last? And it's going to just come out, it's going to be pitch black, and all these lights, lasers, the lot are going to just be there. And all of his songs. And if you think, all these songs that, before he was big as that solo artist, he's had all these songs that he's, like, helped produce, and, you know, whether they're rap songs, whether they're dance songs, and he's on them. You know, you don't know what he's going to whip out for this set or who or whatever. So I think it'll be really, really good. And so different and just exciting.
I'm just excited. Like you said, I think it's a really exciting prospect of a set. Like, I'm thinking about that and just thinking, how good will that be? Like, because I don't know anything about him, but I'm hearing so much good things. And usually, I'd be on the very cynical side of things, where I'd go, he can't be that good. But I think with Fred again, I am just happy to accept. Do you know what? Because I've seen DJs on that stage before, and they're always so different and so fun. I think if you're proper in the mindset for Fred, like, I'm going to try to get proper in the mindset for Fred again that night. Just go out and have a laugh. And just...
Hello? Oh.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, you just cut out a little bit while you were speaking.
Alright, yeah. So for me, like, Fred again, that's one for me where I'll go into the mindset of, like, okay, let's just go down, have fun, have a laugh. And I think it'll be incredible. And I've got no real reason to think that, apart from just, like, in the past, whenever I've seen DJs on that stage, that's exactly what it's been. So, like...
Exactly.
A big DJ on that stage for me, that just, like, for me, in my head, I'm like, that's going to be a good time.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I think, as you say, I don't know loads of his tunes, but I just know it's going to be good and a laugh. But, yeah, now we're on to the final one.
And then Blink-182.
I reckon you start
Interesting.
for this one because I reckon you know more than me.
Do you know what? I don't know that much about Blink. I know maybe 4
No.
or 5 songs.
Yeah, same with me.
But do you know what? The 4 or 5 songs that I know are fucking good songs, and
Yeah.
I think Blink's one. I've never really had this in the past from Reading and Leeds. Of the ones that I've been to, I've never really had like a. There's never really been a headliner where I go, do you know what? I don't know much about him, but I want to find out more before. I feel like Blink for me is the first time where I've really gone, do you know what? I'm gonna give Blink a listen and proper get like into that mindset. I think they'll be great. They've probably the artist with the most actually no, because Liam. There's a lot of like artists that know what they're doing in these headline slots. That's one thing to note. It's like last year, who did we have? Like Foles have been around, but they've not done a show that big really. You've got like, who do we have last year? The Killers had a lot of pedigree about them, and then Billy is really young still. Whereas this year, I feel like Lana Del Rey, Blink, Liam Gallagher, and even to some extent Fred again. I think Lana Del Rey, Blink, and Liam Gallagher are 3 that have a real, like, their season. They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
I feel like even Catfish to some extent. I know it'll be a bit different this time.
No, they're just loads of shows.
I'm pretty sure Catfish have played. I'm pretty sure this is a thing. I think Catfish and the Bottlemen have played every venue in the country. I don't know if that's true, but I feel like I've heard that somewhere that they've played every single venue that you can possibly play in the country. I believe that's because their tour schedule was mad. Because they didn't have how. I'm pretty sure like they didn't live anywhere in Catfish and the Bottlemen. I swear. I think I heard somewhere that like the whole time it was like, so obviously there's 365 days in a year. I have a feeling that somewhere Catfish did an interview where they were like, yeah, of those 365 days, we're playing 300 shows.
That's mad.
Because they used to tour a lot. Like, they were constantly playing shows. They never stopped to settle down or anything. And I really rate that about Catfish.
I'd love to see them again. Well, I know we are, but I'd love to just see them more and more on tour.
Yeah, they're a proper grafting band. Like they've worked their way up from the very bottom to the top, and it's like it's always got the levels always increased every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's the first part. Is talking about the headliners. Who else did we get? We got Skrillex.
Skrillex, I think, is a great booking. I like that. I don't mind that at all.
Do you know what? I think it's weird one because he's not on the same day as Fred again, which I think kind of weird. Because in my head, I was thinking like, why would you book it in 2024? Like, what is the reason to book Skrillex if he's not going to be alongside Fred again? Because there really isn't one.
Yeah. No.
But I think, do you know what? I think it's so weird. It's such a weird booking that like. It seems bizarre to say that in 2024 Skrillex is going to have a massive slot at a major festival in the UK, and I think that's just kind of the fun of it.
Yeah,
it almost is a novelty thing.
Yeah, it is, and I think out of all the names that came out alongside the headliners, he's probably the most exciting one.
Yeah,
well,
I definitely. When I seen it, I was definitely like, "This is bizarre," but I'm intrigued.
Again, that European feel.
Yeah, 100%. Spirit Box.
Yeah, I'm about to say, even all of the rest of the 3, apart from Ray, who I know just loads of her songs, the rest of the 3 mean nothing to me, really.
They've had a collaboration with Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah, I have seen that.
Interesting. And then next up, Digger D.
No.
I don't know anything about drill. I know who Digger D is. I know of him.
Yeah, I saw him in the tent at like 2022 and walked straight back out.
So there will be a demographic for that. A lot of people will be happy about that. And then who was the last one? It was Ray, right?
Ray, yeah.
She'll
get a big crowd.
Interesting. I think. Do you know what I think about? I think with Blink, Lana, Fred again, Liam Gallagher, Catfish and the Bottlemen, Blink, Ray, Skrillex, Digger D. There's none of them that I would say are objectively like not great. I think they're all like actually talented artists.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of times you put out a lineup and you can tell that it's very much like just what's relevant at the minute. It's just like a demographic thing. They're like, oh, these lot will attract the numbers. It doesn't really matter how good they actually are. But I think every single band on here is actually like has a real talent about them. Like, we all know how good Fred again is. I think the only one that you could question is maybe Jerry. But the fact that he's able to pull that big of a crowd just doing what he does, I think you've got to commend that.
Yeah. And that video going around
but they're all like
Hampden Park.
Yeah. But they're all like actually talented, like proper musicians this year, which I really like. I like that they're not peddling shit, because they have been prone to do that in the past.
I just want a poster now.
Yeah, absolutely. So overall, as a lineup,
super happy.
Obviously we don't know anything really still. Like, we've got 10 headliners. We don't even have one act per day apart from the headliners, probably.
I mean, Spirit Box are quite big, so I don't. As in terms of numbers, I don't mean I've never heard of them, but they've got quite a lot of numbers. But I don't know if there'll be a sub headliner. But you're looking at probably you're looking at Skrillex and Ray. I don't think
Skrillex is a sub headliner.
Digga D.
I think potentially, because I think he brings up. I don't know if this is a thing. I might get shit for this, but I think he's like a similar vibe to Central C.
Yeah.
I think he brings this, like, a similar crowd. But yeah, like, interesting.
But they smashed it.
I don't know if Spirit Box. I don't know if Spirit Box are a sub headliner. I will agree with you on that. But yeah, like, I'm interested to see who else we get, because it really could be anyone. Like, there ain't like an obvious vibe that they've gone for.
No, you're right. I
but
really
yeah,
don't know
overall, and it feels like quite weird. Like, it feels like they're not going to go for your standard Reading and Leeds artists this year. Like, if you've got Skrillex and Spirit Box, they don't feel like Reading and Leeds' first announcement names. So I feel like whoever we do get will be like a bit different, a bit weird this year.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I really am, and I haven't been this excited about a first set of names for a little while, to be fair.
I think for me, looking at it as an overall thing, I think, do you know what? Overall, I think on paper, when I'm looking at the names that, like, I know everything by, I'm looking at the names that I've not really listened to. There'll be people that completely disagree, but I think on paper it's not a great lineup. I think a lot of it is just very kind of like, I don't think it's a Reading and Leeds thing, but just for me personally, I don't think it's that great. But I think what it is the occasion for a lot of the acts that are playing. The occasion is the thing that's really putting it up for me and making it seem like, because on paper, like, if I look at those names, I'd go, and it was just those names. I think if you look at those names and it's just those names, you're a bit like, you'd be thinking, what the fuck's this? This is weird as hell. Like, why is Lana Del Rey headlining? Why is Jerry Cinnamon headlining? Why is Skrillex at a festival in 2024? But I think, do you know what? If you think at, like, if you take each act and you go, right, what is this in the context of 2024 and what's going on? You go, okay, it's Fred again's blown up in the space of a year and now he's headlining the biggest festival in the UK. Lana Del Rey it's
weird but cool.
It's like the strangest headliner they've had recently, and it's going to make people really happy. Liam Gallagher's doing Definitely Maybe in full. That's going to make people really happy. It's a different set from him. Catfish and the Bottlemen, it's going to be probably their first set in, like, 3 years?
3-4 years, yeah.
So, like, and we didn't even think they were alive. Like, they just disappeared off the face of the earth. We don't even know who's going to be on stage. Like, we know it's Catfish and the Bottlemen, but we don't know the personnel on stage.
No.
Blink-182 haven't played the festival in 10 years. They've just done a tour, but they're, like, a big, massive legend act. Jerry Cinnamon's there. Fine. Ray, really weird booking. I think it is very Reading and Leeds, but it's like Reading and Leeds, like, I think that's...
Ray reminds me of, like, the Mabels and the Dua Lipa in
For me,
2018.
For me, I'm pegging it closer to like a Little Sims Arlo Parks type booking.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where it's like a clear like Mercury Prize, very like British backed, very obviously talented. So that's one, and then you get Skrillex, who's just the weirdest name ever, and that's kind of cool. Spirit Box, who no one seems to have heard of, but they've apparently got numbers, and then Digger D's like your last one, you take him or leave him. But I think for those like all those things, all those factors, I think this lineup on paper is like 6 out of 10 maybe. I think this lineup contextually is like a solid 8 to 9 out of 10.
Yeah,
I think it's unreal in context. And you know what? I think the other thing that's making me see it a bit better is that obviously 2023, when that lineup came out, that we all abused that lineup.
Yeah.
We took it to the depths of hell, and then like we actually ended up going to 2023, and it was one of the better ones.
Yeah.
So I feel like after 2023, I'm just more comfortable with a lineup where I don't know what to think about it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like in the past when we had like Catfish, Biffy, Monkeys, Dave, Stormzy, those lineups where you back them and you go, oh, this is going to be sick. Like, this is great.
Yes.
And then 2023 comes along and you go,
Yeah.
what have they done here? And the whole time it's just doom and gloom, but then you get to the festival and it's one of the better ones.
Great. And I think a big thing about 2023 was when you looked at the undercard and the sub-headliners, it looked really, really weak. And yeah, there were some days where I just was not bothered about, especially the Saturday, Central C, Nothing But Thieves, Nux and Chase Atlantic. I couldn't really care about any of those apart from maybe Nothing But Thieves. And I did see 3 or 4 of them, but I think this year they've got a chance as well to, like, the sub-headliners could be unreal.
Yeah. If Skrillex is your first name on your sub-headliners, I think we're going to get a really good set. If they're all the level of Skrillex, who was, like, at one point the biggest DJ in the world, everyone knew who Skrillex was.
Yep.
Like, if
great.
that's the level of your sub-headliners, I think we're in for a treat. And, yeah, so I think 2023's just kind of got me more used to looking at a lineup and going, do you know what? The festival's great regardless. Yeah. So and the lineup's a bonus. This year, like 2023 definitely was that year where I was like, do you know what? There wasn't really very many day acts that I enjoyed. I think a lot of the best stuff at 2023 was easily the headliners.
Yeah.
I don't think there was much else going on, but
I agree.
We had a great time, and I think it says a lot about the festival of like it does kind of prove to, because I know everyone always says like, oh, it's about the festival and the atmosphere and the lineup's a bonus. I think a year like 2023 really does prove that to you. And I think when you get a year like 2023 where you get that proved to you that the lineup's a bonus, and then you get a lineup that's considerably better than 2023 to begin with, I think it's just, in my head, this is like unreal. This is one of the best lineups of... It's definitely the best lineup of the year.
Yeah, and it's exciting to think that probably within about a month or so we'll get a poster and we'll actually be able to dissect a whole lineup and experience it. But so far, it's looking good for 10 that they've announced.
Speaking of future announcements, who else do you want to see? Give me 4 sub-headliners a day.
4 sub-headliners?
In fact, give me 4 sub-headliners a day, or throw in a couple daytime acts that you reckon.
Right, okay, I'm going to get up a 2024 prediction poster because I can't think for myself.
I'd love to see...
Go on. I was going to say Cortinas. I really want to see them sub-headlines.
Is it too much? To have Liam, Catfish,
chuck
Jerry,
it in!
No, because your crowd would be insufferable.
Yeah, it will.
You'd have the most insufferable crowd. For me, I know that they're going to be busy. I know that they're playing another big gig that weekend. I really want to see Blossoms.
I knew you were going to say that.
But do you know what? I feel really bad for Blossoms because obviously they've come back. They're playing in this massive Wivenshaw Park gig. It's huge for them.
Yeah.
Catfish are playing Reading on the same day. The exact same crowd that would have been going to that Blossoms gig will want to go see Catfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I feel for those Blossoms lads, but hopefully they're on this lineup as well. I'd love to see it because they've done it in the past where they played Victorious.
Yeah, they did, didn't they? Yeah,
so,
they got drawn in.
If they found a way of doing like Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we'll see. Someone. I still think we're due to see Idols at some point.
Yeah, mate. I'd love to see Idols. Put Idols on the Jerry and Blink day.
Yeah.
I think that'd be incredible. I think you could actually get away with Idols on the same day as Lana and Fred.
Yeah. I think Youngblood's probably due to play at some point again.
I feel like he'd headline.
Do you? Yeah.
I feel like after
Jerry is.
I feel like after
Jerry is.
Yeah, I feel like after last time. I feel like Youngblood's like a West headliner that people. I feel like he's the sort of one where they announce him and everyone's a bit like, is he a headliner?
Yeah.
But yeah, Idols, Blossoms. I think Confidence Man are one that I'm begging to see, and I think we will get them this year because they seem to be like Radio 1 are playing them a lot. So I feel like they've got a bit of like love from Radio 1, so I do think we'll see them this year.
Yeah.
Whether it's in a tent or on the main stage, I'm not too fussed. I think they'd be great on either.
Yeah.
Who else? I'd love to see.
I think what sort of rappers we could get.
Go on.
I still think we're probably due one or two rappers. I don't know who.
So we've got Digger D, so that I think that kind of limits your options because I think he's got beef with a lot of people. I feel like he's got like proper like serious London beef with a few people. I feel like I've heard
you could get an American again, maybe get like Kid Laroi in again or something like that.
Yeah. Who else have we got? I'd love to see. There's an artist called Carr, Carr. Supported Fall Out Boy in America, and basically I discovered her. She's in 2019. She released her first single, and the song is called Van McCann.
Oh, I did. Oh, yeah, you put it on your story.
And do you know what? Ever since she's been releasing music since, and her music's gotten really good now. It's at a point now where it's like
decent.
It's like decent. It's almost like Midwest emo-y, but not. I don't know. It's kind of just emo music now. It's pretty good. It reminds me of stuff like Mannequin Pussy and stuff like that. She's pretty good. I think she's very Reading and Leeds as well. You could put her on.
Yeah. But I think normally you can, like you go to the headliners and then you get a few sub-headliners, a few little acts, and you kind of get the vibe. Whereas I don't think you can really do that this year. I think you can't really gauge who you're gonna get, and of course you could get repeats. So you could get people like Declan McKenna because he's touring, so he could just come back. Like
I feel like this is very similar to the vibe in 2022, where it's like this could easily, based on the next announcement, this could easily go either way. And this could go down as a really great lineup or a really shit one.
Yeah, and it's not until you see all those names on the poster until you know. But we could do this all again when all those more names come out, and we can reassess. Who else
could we see? I imagine there'll be a TPD DJ set.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely.
What else?
Two Door?
Potentially. That's very this lineup, isn't it, Tudor? Put them on next to like Liam and Catfish. I'll put them on before Fred again, even.
Yeah.
I would love to see the Wombats.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Wombats again.
And I'm trying to think who else exists. Fontaine's DC.
Yeah, I did just think Fontaine's DC. You could get someone like, maybe not Dermot Kennedy, he'd probably headline now, but maybe like a Dominic Fike.
I'd put a tenner on getting like a Tom Grennan.
Tom Grennan, yeah.
Or like James Bay, someone of that calibre.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, do you know what?
I'd like to see Wolf Alice come back.
Yeah, that would be great. Do you know what? I just want to see Shame again, because I missed him this year.
Yeah.
So Shame would be a big one for me. Who else exists? Do you know what? Lavums. Get the Lavums on.
Yeah.
Liam, Catfish, and the Lavums on one day.
Yeah,
Fuck.
to be fair, that would be mad. Yeah,
that'd be stellar.
I think as a smaller act, I'd like to see the Mysterines play.
They will. I reckon they will. I reckon they're everywhere at the minute.
For the last few years, I like them a lot.
And I reckon the Hives will play as well. They were the other one that supported Monkeys.
Oh, that's a good shout. Yeah.
I reckon put them on like the blink day.
Yeah.
Put them in like an early time slot, like a 2:00.
Yeah, that's a really good shout, actually. Don't mind that at all.
I could also see like. Someone said the Wiggles the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And do you know what? I could kind of see it.
Yeah. I'll tell you what I could see one day, getting someone like, like Wilkinson, who just plays every year in the headline in the Radio 1 stage.
Yeah.
Maybe just get Wilkinson in, but on like as like a sub-headliner.
Yeah, what, like Bicep
Like
last year?
Yes. Yeah, someone like that. Or like Hannah Wants, or like Sigma last year. They obviously did the disco thing.
I reckon
as a sub-headliner.
There's a song at the minute that's massive. It's called like Strangers. Radio 1 love it. It's like a drum and bass thing.
Oh, yeah.
The girl, I can guarantee you, she'll be there this year. I can absolutely. I'd bet my life savings on it. Because Radio 1 love her. She's like proper like. It's drum and bass, but it's like emo drum and bass. It's like proper alternative. It's very alternative.
Yeah.
It's
Do you
like.
know what would be? I'll tell you what would be a good sub-headliner. Haim.
Big shout. What, on Before Lana?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they
definitely
didn't they do like a UK show fairly recently?
Or if not Haim, Boy Genius.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're probably more likely.
I don't know if they are though, because I don't know how often they cut about. Do you know what I mean? How often is it going to be Phoebe Bridgers and the other two doing their own thing versus Boy Genius? I feel like they've just got off Boy Genius big shows.
Yeah, perhaps.
But no, it would make a lot of sense to put Boy Genius before Lana.
Yeah, it would. Yeah, it would. It would. But and either one of them would be like quite a big announcement.
Yeah, definitely. And then who else could I see? You want some like dancey, poppier names? Do you know who I'd love to see?
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll get her because I don't know if she's really on their radar. Ava Max would be really fun.
Oh yeah.
I think she's very good. She's very good live. Her music's not great, but it's good enough. It's as good as it needs to be. I just don't think they're on her radar. She's on their radar, but if she was, she'd be great because she's got like Sweet But Psycho is massive tune.
Yeah.
Like that would kind of. I reckon she'd draw a decent crowd when people figured out who she was.
Yeah. When you realise what song she does, I think I just thought could see Bastille back again. They play every few years.
Yeah, definitely.
That sort of...
Do you think we'll get like a Glass? It'll be like a Glass Animals or like a Bastille. It'll be that sort of booking.
Do you know what? A Bastille just come off that tour where they played their first album. They could do that, but as their set.
I'd love Twin Atlantic.
That'd be kind of cool. Yeah.
Twin Atlantic needs to be there. I'd love Broco again. I don't know how likely that is.
Yeah, I'd love Broco.
Declan McKenna might be
what about
a decent...
I'll tell you what, yeah, Declan McKenna would probably be there. That wouldn't surprise me. One name that would be quite good, but I don't know if he would headline. I think he might. I was going to say Hosier.
I
he's got that big...
put him as a headliner.
You wouldn't?
Nah, because like... Yes, so he plays big shows, doesn't he? And he's got like a very cult following, but I think that's all it is. I think it is like a cult following. It doesn't go beyond that. He's got like one big radio hit.
It'd be quite a strong sub-headliner.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
he's got like, he's got like...
If you could put him on the right
day. He's got one big... Yeah, so I agree. I just do think though he's got one big radio hit.
Yeah, and they got a whole album with it.
It's always Sam Land's convinced that Hosier had headline, and I'm like, you think that because I feel like with Hosier, like people that listen to him think that he's bigger than he is.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Because it's very like strong cult type following, but it's like literally that is as far as it goes. Like no one outside of that would give a shit.
Is this Finsbury Park date sold out? It probably is.
I didn't know he was doing one.
Yeah, he's doing Finsbury Park next year.
I imagine it will have sold out. Because I think
I think like wants to see him.
Yeah, because I think it is literally his fan base are like really tight, but I don't,
Yeah.
and I think that's why they all seem to think he's bigger than he is.
Yeah, yeah.
But oh yeah, I just wish we had a poster so that we
Yeah,
could really.
I know, and you can't really judge who's going to be there.
I was
LF
hoping
system. That's not a bad shout.
probably Piri and Tommy.
Yeah.
Mate, do you know what? I've just seen a screenshot of the Transmit 2017 lineup. The one. So this is the first ever festival I did.
So the one with monkeys.
No, this is the year before. And you look at it now and you think, what the fuck? It is insane.
Oh yeah, just look at it.
This was the first ever festival I went to, and I went on the Saturday, and I went just to see Catfish, and I didn't know any of the other names on that day apart from Stormzy. Stormzy second from
Mate.
bottom on main stage.
Cooks, Ezra, Catfish,
Kasabian. Mate, so I was there on that day, because I was looking back through this as well the other day at like I was trying to find the first time I ever seen Catfish, and it was that gig. And I think it's Catfish's best show they've ever played. If you find it on YouTube, it's just outrageously good. But yeah, and then like
Also,
on that Transmit lineup.
Transmit used to do like 5 days, didn't they?
So they did 3 days, and then they did like 1 year where it was 5 days. Because I remember contemplating that year, because they did like, so the first year they had like Radiohead as well and Biffy. They had Biffy Clyro, the 1975 two-door Twin Atlantic and Blossoms on one day.
Yeah. Nuts.
But yeah, that's all the headliners and all that kind of stuff you've got to talk about. What are your plans for this year? Have you got anything coming towards Reading and Leeds?
No, not a lot really. I think I'm in that sort of weird spot where it all kind of then starts to ramp up again. I'm gonna start having a think about content, gigs, that sort of thing. What about you?
So for me, I've currently got Leeds Fest ticket booked, sorted. I'm doing Primavera in Porto, which is booked and sorted.
Nice.
And then I'm going to apply for press for Truck again. Love Truck. If I don't get that, I'll be fuming.
Can't wait for the lineup.
I love
You
Truck.
will do, probably.
It's excellent. And then the last one, I'm thinking of doing Download. Well, me and Sam and Alfie are pretty like on that, because we were going to do Glastonbury. And then like maybe a week before tickets came out, we just kind of said it might be a bit effort to like, because I'm only now learning to, so I was meant to be driving to Glastonbury. I probably won't pass my test until like January, February anyway. So it's like it's a bit of a long haul journey for that early in. So I said, I was like, not only that, but like Download, this is the only year where I'm ever going to like a Download lineup and like be excited about the act. Because it's, I know Download fans hate it, but it's very like, this is the only time I've like, last time I was at Download, I got the night off work to see Biffy, but that was the only band I cared about the whole weekend. This time there's bands that I want to see.
Yeah, it's quite a cool lineup, isn't it? For
It's
people
out
who
there.
aren't like proper, people who don't love like that really heavy stuff.
And I said to Sam and Alfie, I kind of went, it's the only time I'm ever gonna like a Download lineup, and I want to go back to Download at some point. Do you know what I mean? I need to go back at some point, so we might as well do it this year. So I think us three boys are on it this year. The big question on everyone's lips, however, are you coming to Leeds this year?
You know what?
I think you should.
I was thinking with the lineup as well. It's a very like northern lineup, isn't it?
And it's very like tilted in Leeds' favour. I think the day splits now.
I do too.
I think you got like Fred again closing Sunday night, and Catfish and Liam closing Friday night. I think you've got to come Leeds.
Yeah. Well, let's just as a little finisher, let's watch this space, and
because we've assembled a bit of a crew now, so it's me, Sam, and Alfie.
Yeah, it would be good.
The terrible trio, me, Sam, and Alfie, all going to be
I would love to.
We're all going to be making content as well, blasting through it. So if you and Lottie got down, that'd be unreal.
Yeah.
But
no, it's been good.
Definitely look into that one. But yeah, so that's the lineup chat. I was expecting that to go on for a lot longer. We've kind of blasted through everything fairly quickly.
Yeah, I think where you've only got 10 names, like when you normally go for our first announcement, especially recently, you've kind of got like, and you've got at least a sub headliner a day. You've got 3 or 4
Yeah,
artists underneath
there's
them.
something to have an opinion about. Where really here
Yes.
it's like, okay, 6 fine headliners, and that's really all there is we can say.
Yeah, yeah.
Who do you reckon sells? Who do you reckon has the biggest crowd of the headliners? Who do you reckon has the smallest? That's a fun idea.
Biggest.
Honestly, I would say Catfish. It's between Catfish or Jerry.
What for biggest?
Yeah, because
Jerry?
I think Jerry has got like Jerry's gonna sell tickets. I feel like a lot of people are gonna go and be like, yeah, fucking big Jerry. Like I know so many people that wouldn't have batted an eyelid at Reading and Leeds that have gone.
But love Jerry.
Jerry
love
Cinnamon
the-
Gig,
yeah.
let's get down.
Whereas the dark fruits sort of, like you're gonna go to Jerry, but then if you're gonna buy a whole weekend, then you've got other acts that are gonna keep you happy. I was almost gonna say Fred is a
literally.
big crowd.
I think it will be big, but I think there's something about Jerry and Catfish that's like, especially like last time Catfish played, it was the same slot, and it was one of the biggest crowds I've ever seen on that stage. Like on West stage, it might be the biggest crowd I've ever seen.
Yeah, it was big.
So like for Catfish,
I think,
I feel like that's only going to get bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think Liam will have like his standard massive crowd. Like we all know Liam will have a big one, but I think
I think smallest is between Blink and Lana.
Yeah, I think smallest is probably going to be Lana.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blink is obviously a huge name, but it just depends
People don't
how
care.
many people
Yeah.
care. Yeah.
I think if I had to rank them in order of biggest to smallest, I would probably put Catfish as biggest crowd.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Fred again probably second. Jerry probably third. By like marginally third.
Yeah.
And then I think Liam Gallagher and I think probably put Fred again and Liam like roughly the same.
On par.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think you probably get Blink second smallest, Lana smallest.
Yeah.
Because I think Lana is very much that cult thing of like, if you don't like it, you're not gonna go see her.
You're not gonna care, and you're not gonna want to care either.
Whereas like,
and also one thing you've got to think as well: who's going to be on other stages, what dance acts they're going to.
whereas with like Blink, let's say, even if you don't really like all their discography, there's still a reason to go see them because everyone knows all the small things. Same with Liam Gallagher. Same with same with Jerry. Like everyone likes Belter. So even if you don't rate him, like I'm gonna be there for that tune.
Yeah.
Whereas Lana doesn't really have that kind of like, if you don't want to see her, you're not gonna.
No, and you're not gonna care enough to go see her.
No.
But yeah, I'm excited. I think it'd be really, really good.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. You lot are like the biggest kind of channel in the scene, I suppose. So.
Yeah, it's just not being consistent enough, really.
Yeah. So
I'd like to be.
It's always a fun one to do when we get you lot on, or whenever we link up for anything. It's always a fun.
Yeah,
time.
no, it's good. No, it's good. We have to do. Well, I want to get you on. I want to get something sorted this year to get, let's say, like a continuing series. Get you on again. We get Jack Webb on.
Yeah, so I was saying like I want to. Do you know what? I don't know. I'll tell you about this off record because I think this is a really cool idea that I've got. But yeah, we'll end the podcast there. It's a short one. That's our thoughts on the Reading and Leeds lineup. We've actually tried to go even more in depth than we possibly can. There's not much to work with.
There's not much more we could say.
But yeah, 6 headliner. If you had to give it a rating so far out of 10,
8 out of 10.
I would say solidly a 7.5.
It's
solidly 7.5, potentially an 8. So yeah, that's everything with that. Next week, who am I going to be joined by next week? I'm going to be joined by Jack Webb next week, Speak of the Devil.
Oh, very nice.
And yeah, me and him, we're going to be... What are me and Jack doing? Oh, it's perfect. It's fitting, actually. Me and Jack are going to be doing a tier list of every Reading and Leeds lineup ever. So if you're interested,
God, that's gonna go on for ages.
if you're interested in like the past years and just like learn a bit about history from Jack, who has experienced a lot of that history, might I add, just stick about for that, man. But yeah, that is everything. We'll catch you in a bit.
Lovely. Cheers, mate.